Alright, what's up everyone? I am the Mad Hatter. Welcome to the Mad Hatter is Puzzle. And I am the Mad Hatter. Definitely glad to see everyone who is joining live right now. Certainly glad for this opportunity to kind of share with you some things that I'm puzzled about this week. Obviously, a lot has happened in the short amount of time that has been these past 7 days. But the biggest thing of all has been the tragic death of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others that were aboard a helicopter that crashed on Sunday in California. And so I wanted to use my platform to basically give my take on all the events that have happened and some of the feelings that I have toward it, and some of the things that I'm puzzled about in terms of the responses that I've seen out in the media landscape over these past few days regarding the death of Kobe Bryant. And so before we get into it, just want to make a quick disclaimer that I am not endorsed by any company that you may see me puzzling from. I'm not endorsed by anyone. I don't have any sponsorships or anything like that. I'm just a guy who likes to do puzzles and a guy who likes to talk a whole lot about the things that I see going on in the world. And so in no way, shape, or form am I again affiliated with any puzzling company or anything, any logo you may see. Furthermore, no one is endorsing me. Nevertheless, I would like to give a shout out to the puzzling company Gallison Gift. I got one of their puzzles right here, as a matter of fact, that I want to give a shout out to on today. Gallison, I want to thank them once again. This is a puzzle that they've done entitled "I'd Rather Be Reading." It's a 1,000-piece puzzle. Looking forward to putting this together one day. Again, just want to shout out to them for liking this podcast. I want to thank them for liking this vlog, and I just want to say I appreciate y'all so much, and I'm hoping to be able to continue to be an avid consumer of your puzzles and any other items that I may see on your website. And so again, just want to give y'all a huge shout out and a thank you so much for liking this podcast. So again, we're talking about Kobe Bryant and his tragic death and the impact that it made on my life, the impact that he had on my life, and some of the fallout of the responses to his death. Right now I'm working on the puzzle by Anatolian called The Four Horses of the Apocalypse. Been working on this puzzle for about 3 solid weeks now, and grateful to say that I'm about 3/4 of the way done. If you're on Instagram, you'll be able to see the progress that I've made on this puzzle. And so just kind of want to give everybody a shot of what this puzzle is looking like. If you're on Facebook, I apologize, you may not get to see it because I'm broadcasting from a different platform, and so I'm not going to be able to see it in this shot. But again, just thankful that I'm getting close to the end game on that, and hopefully by, like I said, the end of this weekend, I will have a finished puzzle to show you all. And so I'm looking forward to what some of the progress that I'm making on it, and hopefully maybe I can get a little bit of progress done while talking through some of this stuff, and we'll just see what happens. But again, we just want to go ahead and jump right into this because I know y'all got a lot to do, and I just want to kind of get some of this stuff off my chest on tonight. And so again, as you all know, if you haven't been paying attention, Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna Bryant were in a tragic, fatal helicopter accident last Sunday, this past Sunday, and it took both their lives. It took the lives of the 7 others that were on the plane as well, and it was such a shock to everyone. It was a shock to every person on the planet when we all got the news, and it was just so sudden and so out of nowhere, out of left field when it happened. And just even thinking about it right now, I'm still in a daze and in shock to a certain degree, because I was not expecting that to happen. Of all the things in the world to be getting news about, the last thing would have been Kobe Bryant at 41 years old passing away in such a tragic way. 5-time champion, countless awards, all-star appearances, MVPs, scoring titles, you name it. He was the consummate athlete, the consummate ball player, the ball player everybody wanted to be. Every time we made a shot, everyone would always say, Kobe. Matter of fact, my boss had joked with me today. I had made a shot throwing a ball of paper in the trash can, and she said, "You didn't shout Kobe," and I was like, "It's too soon. It's too soon." And it just really hurt to know that Kobe Bryant's not with us anymore. And it was funny. There was a post that I saw on Facebook the night before, and the person had said, no one shouts Kobe anymore when they make a shot in the trash can. No one shouts his name anymore with a frowny face, as if to say that the next generation of ball players have really, taken over, and no one is shouting his name anymore, because it's not that he wasn't relevant anymore. It's just that the next generation really doesn't know anything about Kobe Bryant outside of what they may see when he's talking on the TV show Detail, which, as I'm sitting here thinking about it now, that show's not going to be on anymore once they air the last one, if there's a last one to air. And so it was just ironic, and thinking about how LeBron James had passed him in points, in total points, and the beautiful speech of sorts that LeBron had given about just being in the same airspace, the same conversation as Kobe Bryant, the one that he looked up to, the one that he wanted to be like, the one that he grew up watching, that it was so surreal to him that he was in this space, in the same stratosphere as Kobe Bryant. And again, no one by any stretch of the imagination thinking that it was an ode to his life, his legacy, everything that he had accomplished in the time that he had been on earth and with us. And so it just really sent a shock to the entire world, the entire world, because he's no longer with us. His daughter is no longer with us. And of course, the 7 other passengers are equally as important in terms of their lives and the fact that they are no longer here. And so it's not to diminish or, make it seem as though their lives didn't matter, because their lives matter just as much as Kobe's did and Gianna's did. And so it's not a knock against anyone, but it's just a tragic situation that for countless people in the basketball world, in the entertainment world, in his own world, in so many different places all over, his death impacted so many of us in so many different ways that it's just hard to imagine that at 41 years old, this man is gone. Like there's no coming back from it at all, and it really it hurt. It hurt a whole lot, and so I sat in this room. I was putting this puzzle together, getting ready to go to my daughter's basketball game when we got the news that Kobe had passed away. And again, it was just so shocking that I couldn't even put in words what I was feeling at the time, and so even to this day, it still hurts. It still hurts a whole lot to know that he's no longer here, that he's no longer with us, and so I find it hard to I find it hard to be able to do a whole lot in terms of my normal day to day watching sports, especially trying to get ready for the Super Bowl and knowing that just about every channel that you turn now, they're going to be saying something about Kobe Bryant, something about the man, the myth, the legacy that he is, and so it hurt. It hurt a whole lot, and I'm just in a place where even for me, it's kind of like I don't know how to feel outside of sadness. Like again, just so many different emotions that I felt and still feeling even now. Like I find it difficult to try to put together exactly what I'm feeling on the inside, and even in talking to you guys right now, I'm still finding it kind of difficult to know what to say and how to say it, because it's just really difficult knowing that once again, like he really is gone. Like he's really no longer here, and his daughter's not here either. And watching their relationship over the course of the past few months was a sight to see, and I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of stuff that I didn't know about his daughter Gianna, but just watching them over the course of the past couple of months, especially watching the basketball games and things like that, like it was really cool to see them together, knowing that she was an up and coming basketball player, doing a really good job with the Mambas and all that. And so it just really sucked. This was a sucky week. Because again, regardless of how people may have felt about him in particular, he impacted a lot of lives, and he mattered to a lot of people in ways that we will never understand. And so it just, again, is a really hurtful experience that a lot of us felt over the course of the past few days, recognizing that one of the greatest basketball players and one of the greatest men that we would ever know passed away in such a tragic way. Like it's funny, I thought about this without even realizing, again, because it happened so sudden, like you're not even really thinking about what's going to happen. But I thought about the fact that I thought about at one point, Kobe's probably going to live to be about 88, 89 years old. I'm going to be 84, 85 when he finally passes away. I thought about that one day, and I couldn't for the life of me understand why I was thinking that, outside of the fact that I recognized that he was getting older. And I was like, yeah, one day in his life, he's going to be about 85 and he's going to pass away, and I'm going to be like 80, and then I'm going to be like, oh, I remember when, blah, 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 blah. And that was going to be the end of it. Never in a million years did I think that, again, it was kind of an omen of sorts, because the man, again, he's gone. He is gone. And so again, just wanted to kind of give some of that backdrop to kind of talk about some of the things that I've been feeling regarding his passing. I thought about the fact that, my daughter, when it happened, I was thinking to myself, I've got a daughter, I've got a young girl, and I want her to know that I love her no matter what is going on in her life and what she has going on in her life and whatever experiences she's having, that I just want her to know that she's loved, that she's cared for, and that, we will be there for her no matter what. And I think it was really difficult for me in particular because, again, when I found out that Kobe Bryant died, we were on our way to a basketball game. Like, we were about 30 minutes from getting in the car to go to a basketball game. My daughter plays basketball, and so as I'm thinking about Kobe Bryant having passed away, I'm thinking about the fact that I'm a dad, he was a dad, she was a daughter, I have a daughter who's playing basketball, and they're never going to get to have that experience ever again. His wife is not going to be able to watch their daughter grow up. She's not going to be able to enjoy her husband ever again. And my wife is sitting in the car with me as we're getting ready to go to this basketball game. I'm watching my daughter play basketball while, mourning in this state of shock. The fact that Kobe Bryant has lost his life and his daughter has lost her life. And so there's just a lot of raw emotions going on, and so happy that my daughter won her game, so happy that the team won their game. The picture that we took was so awesome and incredible, and I thought about posting it on Facebook, but I was like, is it even appropriate to post this picture given what we're experiencing right now? And then to the whole security issues, because people don't like their pictures posted without permission, especially when it's kids. So I just decided not to post it at all. For that reason. But even then, I still didn't know how to feel about posting this picture while knowing that another dad and daughter were not going to be able to even do that ever again. And then just to see some of the responses and the reactions from different basketball players and entertainers who were just mortified and devastated on the inside from what had happened to Kobe Bryant. It was so surreal to see these athletes be human in a way that I've never seen most of them, if not all of them, be human. Like I had never experienced a situation where I saw so many basketball players, so many entertainers, so many newscasters, drop their guard and be vulnerable and actually talk about real things outside of the world of sports and outside of the world of entertainment. And it was again just mortifying to know that this had happened, and to see the raw emotion from everyone was just so surreal to me. Watching Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, I haven't seen him, but I read the post that he posted up, to see Elle Duncan, I hope I'm getting her name right, and the post that in the casting that she did on TV. Watching Rachel Nichols and Paul Pierce and all these other people. Shaq, oh my God, when Shaq got on TV and was talking about the fact that you don't want to live your life in a way to where you're so busy that you can't reach out to people, that really hit home for me, because I know I got a bad habit of not reaching out to the people that I love and care about. And so, he was going out of his way. He was saying that we need to go out of our way to make time to let people know that we care about them, to let people know that we're still here, to let them know that we care. And that, again, that just really hit home for me. And so to see all of the reactions in real time of how people were really feeling about the situation, feeling about Kobe Bryant, feeling about the fact that they couldn't believe, just like we couldn't believe that this had happened. It was truly remarkable, a remarkable moment, although it was coming at the worst possible time. But it was still remarkable to see so many people just be so real and so human and so fragile and so frail. and so it kind of brought a sense of, even though it's not okay, the fact that it's not okay for a lot of people makes it a lot less painful, and a little bit bearable, because it doesn't just suck for us, it sucks for everybody else that this tragic thing is happening. And so it, again, just really brought up a lot of raw emotions for me. And I mean, I'll admit, I even, cried on Monday, again, just thinking about the fact that I'm praying every single day that my daughters know that I love them, that my wife knows that I love her, that, I'm praying every day that I'm living a life in a way that my friends and my family know that I care about them, that I'm not wasting time doing things that don't matter, in respect to the time that should be spent making sure that the people that are in my life, that they know that I love them, that they know that I care about them, that they know that I'm here, that I appreciate their presence, and that I never want anything to happen to them. But even if something does, that they know that they're loved, that they're cared for, that, I'm always here for them, and that I'm praying every day that God will allow us to glorify Him in life and in death. And so again, I think for me, it hit home how fragile life is, and how we have to live every moment as best as we can in hope, in the hope and prayer that the people that matter the most to us, the people that we most matter to, know that we love them, know that we care about them, so that even if the unthinkable happens, we can live and have lived with no regrets. That even if, I'm here today, gone 15 minutes from now, I can say that I've lived a life with no regrets. That every person in the world knows that I love them. Every person in the world knows that I care about them. That is in my world. That's in my space. And so I'm just praying that Vanessa Bryant, her children, the family of Kobe Bryant, the family of the other family members as well, the other passengers on the helicopter, that their family knows that they cared, and that everyone's able to find a little bit of peace in the midst of all the chaos that's going on. Again, it's been such a painful pill to swallow, but again, life is fragile in a way where at any given moment, it could be you, it could be me, it could be any of us that God decides to call home for whatever purpose He has to serve in that. And so we're just hoping and praying that, God was in the midst of all of that, and we know that He is. And so we're just hoping and praying that everyone that was involved knows that they were loved, and that they were cared for. And who knows what tomorrow holds, but we know who holds tomorrow. So in light of saying all of that, I'm still very madly, deeply puzzled by some of the, and I'm just going to be real with how I feel about all this, and y'all can take it to the bank if you're watching. If you're not watching, you might not want to watch, because you may have different feelings toward me after I finish saying what I'm saying, but it's going to be what it's going to be, because again, it was really troublesome for me to see the things that I saw. But I am deeply perplexed and deeply troubled by some of the hateful, nasty, mean, vile, just all for all of his purposes, messed up things that people had to say about Kobe Bryant, about his legacy, about, who he was as a person, and on I could go, in the midst of all this tragedy that was going on. Deeply troubled, deeply puzzled, because I know that people are entitled to their opinions. Clearly, I know that. I've got my own, and I'm entitled to it, right or wrong. But for me, and again, what do I know? I'm just a guy who talks a whole lot, has a lot of opinions from time to time. Some of them make sense, some of them don't. But for me, I believe that there is a time and a place for everything under the sun. That there is a time and a place for people to say the things that they have to say, to feel the things that they want to feel, and to express those things thereof. And it was so hurtful to me. And I don't know Kobe from Adam. I don't know Kobe's family from Adam. I don't know. They ain't gonna know me. Like I say, I'm just some guy. Whatever. But it was just so painful and so hurtful to me to see the things that people had the audacity to have come out of their mouths in the immediacy of the tragedy that unfolded before us this weekend. I've never seen so many people who I have looked up to, that I've admired, that I have followed, that I have had deep respect for their opinions, whether I thought they were right or wrong. I've never been more disgusted and mortified by the things that I was seeing that people were saying in the immediacy of this tragedy. I'm not talking about something that happened like a few days later, or or like a week later, with it being about to be Saturday. I'm talking about in the immediacy of this situation. I'm talking about Sunday night, Monday morning. You had people on Facebook and on Instagram and in the news, in the media, that had some of the most just all intents and purposes mean girl things to say about Kobe Bryant, about his wife, about the whole situation. And it was just so, it went to show just how mean we have become as a society, and how much courage we have to show other people how mean we can be. When you have someone who has made such an impact in so many different ways in the community, beyond basketball, beyond himself, and has made a difference in so many different people's lives, to sit up there now and want to bring up the fact that he had a rape charge that he beat. And the fact that, once a rapist, always a rapist, regardless of whether you beat the charge or not, in the immediacy of him passing away. This is what was being brought up. Shame on you. Shame on you that regardless of what he may or may not have done, that you have the audacity and an unmitigated gall to say the things that you were saying in the immediacy of what had happened. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change your opinion about him in that light, because, again, we weren't in that situation. We don't know what happened all those years ago, but one of my good friends on Facebook, and I ain't going to call his name out, but, bro, I love you to life. He said, or rather he found a post and he shared it, and he said, y'all had the audacity to wait 17 years to now want to drag his name in the mud after he's passed away. That you couldn't have brought this stuff up and had him try it while he was alive, allow him to defend himself while he's alive, or to even tell you, forget you while he was alive. You wait until he passes away and the world is in shock to now want to add insult to injury by saying, I would never celebrate a rapist. Good riddance to him. He sucked as a human being, blah, 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 blah. Again, in the immediacy of what's happened. We have become so mean and so vile as a people that we can't even give people 24 hours to mourn or to grieve or to just have some type of opportunity to just be like, wow, this has really happened, or to offer any type of condolences to any of the family or whatever. You just have to say what you want to say, when you want to say it, how you want to say it, and feelings and emotions and who you're hurting be darned, because it's all about you and you want to make your point known so that you can get a few more likes on your page. And of course you're gonna say, "No, I ain't caring about that. I just want to say what I want to say." But of course, again, let only one person had liked what you had to say, you probably would have tried to up the ante. But again, I'm not trying to split hairs here. The point that I'm making is that we live in such a mean world now to where you can't even grieve the loss of someone that mattered to you in some type of way, without having someone having something so negative and so vile to say, and people putting a microphone in front of them so that they can say all the things that they want to say even louder. Someone I'm following on Twitter said something along the lines of, we got to realize what kind of world we live in now, where people who you get that these platforms and social media have given everybody a microphone, and because everybody has a microphone, everybody has something to say, and usually the ones that get the most attention are the ones that have the most explosive thing to say. It's not necessarily the most truthful, it's what's the most explosive that's going to get the most attention. And so it was just really hurtful thing to see so many people having so many negative things to say about things regarding Kobe Bryant, and the rape charge, the fact that the rape charge that was beaten, he was acquitted for it. The fact that that now that Kobe Bryant's dead, that his money is gonna go to his wife Vanessa, and because Vanessa's not black, shame on us for celebrating the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant, because his money's not gonna go to somebody black, it's not gonna go back to the black community, it's gonna funnel on to some other community that's not ours. It's like, shame on y'all. Have y'all no compassion, have y'all no heart for the fact that this woman who stood by this man's side, this entire time, regardless of what was going on in their marital lives, they stuck it out, they fought, and their marriage, for all intents and purposes, from what we could see, was a great marriage. It was a Bible marriage. And to now say, oh, because she's not black, we shouldn't celebrate this man, because all that's happened now is that his wealth is now passed on to someone who's not a part of our race. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all for feeling that way. Shame on y'all for acting that way. Shame on y'all for having the audacity to say that, again, in the immediacy of what happened. This isn't something that happened like two or 3 days after the fact. This is happening in the immediacy of what had happened. And, never mind the fact that, again, this woman been with him the whole time. So what if she's not black? So what if, whatever race she is, that was his wife. That was her husband. That was her kid that died on the plane. Who cares where the money's going? Who cares about any of that stuff right now? Right now, they're in mourning. They're in pain. The last thing we need to be talking about is the fact that, oh, now she's finna be banking, and she's not one of us. So why are we celebrating that? Like, for what? Why does that even matter? Why does that even matter? And again, it was things like that that kept popping up over and over and over again. Even among the Christian ranks, we had people that were saying things along the lines of, why are you celebrating this man who didn't have a walk with Christ or didn't have a walk with God? Why are you mourning over someone who wasn't a believer in Christ? Why are you mourning over someone who hasn't done anything for you? Why are you mourning over somebody and having to take a personal day and having to take a time to process and all sort of stuff? Why would you do that? What kind of Christian are you that you can't continue to move on and move forward in the midst of this tragedy that had nothing to do with you and everything to do with them? Let me tell you something. I watched Kobe Bryant from the time he started playing basketball for the NBA. I was watching him the whole time. I watched him his whole career. And so some of my fondest memories growing up, I can remember my brother and me watching basketball, watching Kobe, watching Shaq, watching the second iteration of Kobe when he was with Pau Gasol and Ron Artest and those boys, or Metta World Peace now. He was with those boys. You know, I remember having conversations with my brother all the time about how the Lakers and the Spurs were going to go head to head, and how they were going to that was going to be the greatest basketball battle on earth in the playoffs. I remember watching basketball with my brother and my aunt, because my aunt was an avid San Antonio Spurs fan, and so she was always watching them when the Dallas Mavericks were playing the Lakers. My aunt, because she was from Texas, would always be honing in on that and always have something to say about the Lakers and cutting up and stuff. And so it's not even about Kobe Bryant that we're in mourning for, although we are in mourning for him, but it's the fact that some of our fondest memories were attached to basketball, attached to Kobe Bryant, attached to his career. I watched this man from the time that he started to the time that he finished. Even when I was cheering for the Celtics when they played, when Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce were playing oh gosh, I can't remember his name right now. The dude that played Jesus Shuttlesworth on He Got Game. I remember his name in a little bit. My mind's going blank. But when they played against Kobe in the playoffs, man, I remember that. I remember plain as day. Remember saying, I don't know if they can beat Kobe. I don't know if they can beat the Lakers, because this is Kobe Bryant we're talking about. Like, I don't know if they're gonna win. Even though I'm rooting for them all day, I had sense enough to know that they're playing against Kobe Bryant. And so a lot of the fondest memories that I had of Kobe Bryant were attached to my childhood. I remember watching the games with my brother. I remember trying to get home from work, driving from Zaxby's, trying to get home in time to watch them play, because I knew the playoffs started at this time, and I'm still at work, and by the time I get to work, maybe I'll catch the fourth quarter of the playoff game. Like, I remember all of those things. And so for someone who is of the Christian faith to have the audacity to say, how can you be a believer and mourn for someone who is not of the faith? First off, ma'am, you don't know whether or not he was of the faith or not. You weren't in his life. You don't know what type of believer he was. You don't know whose church he belonged to. You don't know what pastor was in his life. You know, maybe somebody will preach his funeral, I don't know, and have something to say about the life that he lived as a Christian, if he was one. But even if he wasn't, how would you know? Were you walking with him? Were you talking with him? Were you pastoring him? Were you shepherding him? No, we don't know whether he was saved or not, because no one knows the heart of man. No one, you can't even tell if I'm saved or not. Hopefully, I have some fruit that can justify my salvation. That'll show that I am a child of God, but no one knows who's a part of the kingdom and who's not. Yes, we would hope that there's some fruit that will manifest itself, some holiness that will manifest itself, but none of us know who's a Christian and who's not a Christian. And so for you to say how dare we celebrate him, or how dare we be in mourning for him, how dare we have compassion for him, how dare we have to take a mental health day for some of us, because he has passed away, man. That again, it's things like that really trouble my heart, because we live in a day and age where we're just so mean and so vile that we don't take the time to just stop and think, hey, let's take this time to just mourn his loss, to pray for those who are still around, that they find peace in the midst of their suffering and in their pain. And if these people who are in mourning that are still around don't have a walk with God, maybe this can be the moment to try to lead them to the Savior. Who knows? But instead, we're throwing barbs, we're throwing jabs, we're throwing jibes at one another. And again, just showing how calloused we can be as people when, we don't have to be. It doesn't have to be this way. We could be so much better than how we sometimes treat people, and how we're treating this situation is just another way to show just how mean and callous we can be as people. Again, it just hurts so much to see just how, jacked up we as people can be when it comes to how we talk about and how we treat one another, regarding, because again, he's dead, man. He's dead. His daughter's dead. Like, that's it. That's game. There's no coming back from that. There's no need to now add insult to injury by talking about this man, talking about how we feel about this man. If you don't like the fact that he's being celebrated, turn the TV off. Turn off social media for a few days. Block the people that are celebrating him. That are cherishing their memories of this man. Because for whatever he did or didn't do, it doesn't diminish the impact that he made in the lives of those who he affected. You have celebrities, you have athletes, you have singers, artists, movie stars who have impacted your life in some way, shape, or form. And when that person passes away, when that person dies, the last thing that you're going to want someone else to say is, he's dead, but I remember what he did 18, 19 years ago, what he was accused of doing 18, 19 years ago. And so I don't care that he's dead. No, you're going to want to mourn. You're going to want to grieve. You're going to want to watch tape. You're going to want to hear songs. You're going to want to watch movies, the whole 9 yards, because this person has passed away. So what gives you the audacity and the unmitigated gall to now say what you had to say about Kobe Bryant and anyone who has the desire to be human and to have a heart and to have compassion and actually say, hey, I'm hurting right now. Or if I'm not hurting, I know somebody else is. And so let me be there for that person. Let me be there for them and pray for them and make sure that they're doing all right. Again, just trouble. It was just so troublesome. So troublesome. If you have any questions or concerns, if you have anything that you'd like to say, you have any thoughts on anything that I've said so far, feel free to comment in the comment section. If you're watching this, feel free to let me know anything that you have going on in your mind. Try as best as I can over the course of the next 10 minutes to try to answer any questions that you may have or to respond to any comments that you may have. The last thing that I wanted to talk about today, kind of getting off that the negative aspect of the fallout, is some of the positive things that I saw to come out of this. The main thing is L. Duncan's poignant message to us regarding a story that about Kobe Bryant, and in essence, to just kind of sum it up, she said that Kobe Bryant loved being a quote-unquote girl dad, and it was so moving to see how that just exploded. And a lot of dads posted pictures with their daughters and how they enjoyed being a girl dad and how they were reminded by Kobe Bryant to be a girl dad and to cherish being a girl dad. Not to diminish anybody who has boys. That's not the point. The point was that, Kobe Bryant still being a role model, man. It was still being a human being, still having a heart, still having compassion. And so, again, we saw a lot of posts out there of dads and their daughters, and it was just a beautiful thing to see that a lot of people were willing to, share that moment. I try to be very careful about the pictures that I post on the internet, especially when it comes to my kids, given the profession that I'm in. And so I didn't get involved in the hashtag girl dad as I could have. But again, it was really nice to see that even in death, something amazing came out of that. Even if it was just a simple reminder that there are some really good dads out there who love their daughters, love their children, love their wives, and are willing to do anything for them. And so I was really moved to see that in spite of everything that has been going on and all the negativity, that people have had to say, that there was such a tremendous outpour of love, of adoration and affection for Kobe Bryant and his family, and that hashtag girl dad has kind of blown up and been blown up for like the past few days. I also saw a lot of people that were posting their tattoos and their artwork of Kobe Bryant since his passing. And can I just say, man, there's some talent out there, some untapped potential out there that I have never seen before. Like people overnight painting murals and doing these life-size drawings, these oversized drawings, and on basketball courts and walls and tattoos and these things just so mind-blowing to see how creative God has made these people. Like it just makes no sense how they're able to just draw and paint and just do the unthinkable in such a short amount of time. It puts me trying to put a puzzle together to shame, to be honest with you. Like I look at them dudes and I be like, you know what, forget this. I don't want to do this no more. And then I remember I'm on a mission with Mad Hatter Puzzle Art, shameless plug. And so again, it's just so moving to see what Kobe Bryant, even in death, has inspired in a lot of people. I've heard it with some foundations that have been started up. Some people have been motivated to want to coach basketball now. I know the Lakers game is going to be doing something special tonight. I also know that, hey there, Puzzle Me Crazy. Good to see you today. Also know that there's been a lot of basketball going on all this week, and the 8-second violation, the 24-second violation was really cool. Someone scored 24 points and made it out to Kobe or something like that, and that was cool. Just a lot of great things that have been happening over the course of the past few days in light of everything that's been going on in the world of sports and in life. I believe Lil Wayne has added a 24-second moment of silence at the end of track number 8 in his newest album in tribute to Kobe Bryant. I know the All-Star Game has changed some things up in honor of both Kobe and Gianna. And so, like I said, even in the midst of all the negativity that I talked about before, there are so many positive things that are going on right now in light of the fact that, Kobe Bryant made such an impact in the lives of others. I mean, it's been so incredible just to watch and see just how awesome people can be. In midst of all the negativity that's been out there, there's been an outpour of positivity. And so I didn't want to end this podcast on a negative note, given all the negative things that I've seen people say and do over the course of the past few days. I wanted to end on this positive note to remind people that, yeah, Kobe Bryant had some flaws. He had some issues, and people, I'll take it even one step further than that. Kobe Bryant was a human being, just like every last one of us. And what people try to do is to use this situation or use any certain situation to try to prove their point and make their point known, to try to defend their turf and defend their platform. But I, for one, do not want to be one of those people. I don't want to use Kobe Bryant's reputation. I don't want to use Kobe Bryant's life and his tragic death as a means of trying to push some type of agenda. Instead, what I wanted to do was just celebrate the man that he was, celebrate the legend that he was on the basketball court, and say that, I am truly, truly sorry for the loss that we are all feeling right now. Like I said earlier, I watched him play basketball his whole career. He was one of the first basketball superstars that I actually watched from beginning to end. And I was so impressed even with his after basketball stuff. I wanted to buy ESPN Plus just to see what he had to say about basketball games, because I'm a nerd like that. Never got to do it, and now that he's gone, I definitely don't want to do it. I probably end up just bawling my eyes out watching him. Like, I've had such a difficult time watching social media alone just because of everything that I've been seeing. And again, I'm grateful that God gave me the opportunity to watch him be the person that he was. I'm glad that God gave me the opportunity to see him become the man that he was when he died. I'm glad that I got to see that even if he did do something atrocious as people believe he did, that he rose above that and became a better person than he was the day before. Because that's all that we could ever ask for, is that we just become better every single day. And prayer and expectation is that we all just learn to love a little bit more. That we don't allow the wiles of this world to callous us so much to where we no longer have the capacity to care when something of this magnitude happens. You never know when it's your time. You never know when it's your time. And if we act as if we don't care when someone passes away, regardless of who it is, then we're saying to everyone that when it's our time, we're not hoping anyone will be there for us. I remember seeing something online where this guy was like, Kobe didn't do anything for us, so why are we mourning his death? And someone turned around and then said to him, your grandma didn't do anything for us, so why should we have mourned for her? It's that whole back and forth, trading barbs and being mean and being callous. I just pray once again, and for some people they'll hear it and other people they won't, but it's all good, that we just learn to care just a little bit more, and that we recognize that life is short and there's really just there's no time to be wasted. So go and live your life and love everyone that's in your life, because you never know when it's your time, when it's their time. And when it is your time, their time, whoever's time, you want to be in a way like Kobe Bryant, leaving everything out there on the court and saying to yourself that I've lived the best life that I could, and I love the best that I could in every way, shape, or form. And I hope that the people that I love know that I love them. And with that, I love you guys. Y'all take care. The word is Kobe Bryant. Mamba out.